Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on our university's Mental Health Day couch conversation. My name is Dami Adesoya, and I'm President Education and Welfare at RGU Union. And today I'm joined by staff and students at RGU to talk about mental health issues, breaking the stigma, and everything that has to do with university's Mental Health Day. So I'll ask my panelists to introduce themselves, starting with Annette, sorry, starting with Annette, Erin, KK, and Diana. Thank you.
Afternoon, everybody. My name is Annette Davidson, and I'm the Counselling and Inclusion Manager within Student Life.
Good afternoon, my name is Erin and I'm Vice Chair of Peer Support and also a student here at GU.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is KK. I'm the Student Officer for Creative and Cultural Business, and also I'm a student of International Tourism and Hospitality Management, MSc.
Hi everyone, I'm Diana. I am Chair of Peer Support and also an RGU student.
Awesome. Thank you, Annette, Erin, KK, and Diana for joining me today. And basically, like I said earlier, it's University Health Mental Health Day, and it's a week-long celebration at RGU. And today we're just going to be talking about breaking the stigma that surrounds mental health issues. And we also believe at RGU that no student and nobody in general should feel alone. So basically, my first question for the panel is, what is stigma and how is it related to mental health and mental well-being issues? Annette, Erin, Diana, and then KK.
For me, stigma is about us drawing lines about who feels that they belong, who feels like outside or othered. And it's our job to try and make sure that everybody, all RGU students, feel part of the RGU community and don't feel stigma or feel that they're outside or othered by anybody. So that's what it means.
Yeah, I don't know how to be that. Stigma for me is just the attachment that is, always clung on to someone that has got mental health or well-being or any kind of thing that's, I've lost my words now.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of going off of what Annette had said, is stigma is the feeling of being othered. So it's the negative connotations that's attached to certain things. So in terms of relating it to mental health, certain kind of stigma and negative connotations that could be attached to something such as depression would be they're just lazy, there's nothing, they're just sad, stuff like that. And it's the kind of that dismissal, but also maybe for some more severe mental health conditions, the stigma attached could be like, they're crazy, they're dangerous, and it's that kind of attaching all these negative things, and that can become a whole person's identity almost.
Stigma basically is just what the negativity that surrounds a person due to circumstances or an effect from the quality of their environment or the people they relate to, or whatever traumatic experiences they've had. So basically, they are filled with emotions that cannot be let out or put them in a box that makes them silent for a long period of time.
Thank you very much. And these are all wonderful answers. And that gets us thinking, what causes stigma and why do people tend to stigmatize people that they perceive as different from them or not the same as us? So creating that us versus them situation. What is the root cause of stigma?
I think for some people it's fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of things they don't understand. Fear that they might be tainted by association with people with different characteristics. And we can all be frightened. I think for all of us, because we know that our own mental health is variable, there's a fear that we might end up in the same place, and that could be a scary place to be.
Yeah, so much what Annette said is unknown, and I think the society we live in has come a long way, but it's still a
associated with that. And, there was the speaker mentioned something and said that there's about 1 billion people in the world who have one form of mental issue or the other. So that means that the chances are there that we know someone personally or otherwise that has a mental issue or has something that they're probably dealing with. So how do we begin to destigmatize something that is so commonly that we all have at one point or another interacted with? So you mentioned as well that if we ever, as individuals, if we ever get to that point where we tell ourselves, oh, well, I don't know anyone who has a mental issue or has something they're dealing with, then that's part of the problem because we think this thing doesn't exist. So how can we start or continue to destigmatize the concept and the reality that is mental health, mental issues, mental well-being?
I think part of being open to acknowledge that we are human, we do have our struggles, and that that's not odd or different. When in Florida, we're certainly to be having some kind of mental health issue at any one time. So it's not a scary thing. It's something we all go through as part of our lives. I think we need to be a wee bit more honest about that we're all vulnerable, and we all experience problems at times that nobody's superhuman. If they are, we probably don't want to know.
Yeah, and that was what I was thinking about there was, depending on what way you look at it, everybody could have some sort of mental health, but mental health, physical health, and I think if we continue the conversation and keep talking about it and normalising it, and with the blog with the marketing department and, one that I like the comments was that, it's okay not to be okay, and, it's okay to seek out the counselling and wellbeing team and good support and everybody that you can offer that support in a certain way, and just kind of normalising it, saying that it's okay and it will be okay, and seeking that help or walking through the counselling door will be the scariest thing to do, but in the end it will most certainly be the most beneficial thing we've ever done. So it's just kind of normalise that.
Yeah, definitely. I think kind of normalising the conversation around it definitely helps with the kind of destigmatization of it. I think there's also an element of challenging these beliefs. As I said before, a lot of these beliefs are deeply ingrained within our minds, within society. So although it can be kind of scary, it's like when you're kind of talking with friends or family, and maybe the conversation starts to steer towards that stigmatization. So maybe if you feel comfortable enough, kind of calling that out and say, that's kind of how things used to be thought of. Things have come on, things have changed. This is how it is now. And having that conversation, I'm not saying to be confrontational by any means, I'm not saying get fist fights over it, but definitely challenging that. And even within yourself, when you start thinking these things, because it happens, we're not immune to it. We're socialized into that from a young age. So it's challenging it within yourself and your immediate circle can make all the difference.
I'm going to come back to the UK, but I just want to just explore further on the point that Erin made. When you said it's okay not to be okay, I sort of tend to think that sometimes there might be that particular focus on actual mental situations, like say schizophrenia or depression across different levels. And I'm not going to put anyone on the spot here, disclaimer, but can you share with us at some point in your life, like Annette mentioned, we will all experience this at some time or another. How, have you dealt with an issue or something that can be related as mental, some sort of mental stress, and how did you deal with that situation?
I'm happy to jump in. I myself, would say that I suffer from mental health issues, and I actually remember when I was in second year, before peer support and all that, and I actually went to at the counselling centre and had more actually recently met with one of the counselling wellbeing officers. And I think definitely for me, I never went to counselling once, but I just went that one time, and it really helped me. It was really beneficial, and I'm happy to talk about that. It was dope at all. A lot of people could feel that, because I'm part of your support, do things like this, that, you're brave and you're confident and you're, this, that. But, it just kind of shows that you can be on camera and can't even slow people that types of thing. And I'm not ashamed to say it's the best thing I did.
I mean, definitely, I think kind of having my own struggles as well as having close friends who've had struggles as well. It's absolutely terrifying. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It is terrifying because it's hard to understand because, you know, kind of mental health, it's not logical, it's not rational, and, you know, we tend to try and think in these ways. But it's kind of when I have struggles with my friends, I try and tell them it's like, look, don't do it alone. That's the absolute worst thing you can do, and that's the thing I always tell people. It's like, if you're struggling, just don't struggle alone. You know, worry about it. It's okay to not be okay. It's like it's so like in our nature to push away any negative feelings and just be like, oh, I need to be happy all the time, or like that's odd. It's fine, and you know, you always have that element of, well, I don't want to be a burden, but it's definitely, it's just reach out to someone, anyone. Just don't do it alone.
Absolutely. I think it's much of thinking as well, as Ed is saying, if you go to counselling and building advisory points, you don't have to be in an absolute crisis. It doesn't have to be anything that you think is fantastically serious or really scary. If things are starting to wobble, you can do something just in a safe place. You can speak to the service. That's what we're there for. We're there to try and help you not get to the crisis point. We want to be a safe place where you can say, no, today isn't a good day. And I could do with somebody to listen to that. That's what we do, and we don't want people to feel that they have to wait till things are very, very serious for them. You know, we have to maintain our mental well-being the same way we maintain our physical well-being. If we stop eating for a long period of time, it could be affect our physical well-being, but it also affect our mental well-being. So we have to try and skill ourselves up to look after ourselves and to know when it's just a bit too big for me and I need some help from someone else. And we all feel that at times. You know, life happens to us, and sometimes you can see these life events happen to us, or just the fact that the world's a bit scary just now. It's even scarier if you're on your own and you're just sitting thinking about it. So, as Diana said, you need to speak to somebody. It doesn't need to be somebody official, but the official people are also there, and they're used to listening, and they're used to looking after themselves, so they can listen to you. So I would absolutely encourage people to do what Diana says. Come and speak to peer support, and they know us, and they go to our services if you need them. But sometimes it's just speaking to somebody to say, isn't this a big room? Today's a bad day. You do the friendly face. And if somebody approaches you in that way, put that friendly face, just listen. You just need to listen to something.
Absolutely. So I was just thinking, especially as students in university, you know, we have workload, we have things to think about, we have coursework, assessments, we have personal lives, and then we find that there could be that possibility of students, you know, engaging in dangerous habits, like they're just to cope, as coping mechanism with stress and, you know, whatever's going on inside. What advice or what sort of things that we can talk about in terms of students veering off the track? Still around stigma, because sometimes people don't want to reach out just because they want to be considered as weak, or, you know, you're not in control of your emotions, and then you tend to maybe abuse alcohol or things like that. What do you think?
There's help for that. I suppose the most important thing is to know that when you come to counselling and well-being, there's no judgment. They deal with what's in the room and what you want to share with them. So if that's something that you feel ashamed of, it's a safe space to do that. And if you need specialist support, we do have connections to specialist alcohol and drug services, for example, that can support you. But sometimes just being heard in a non-judgmental way is really important first step to work with the stigma. But you know, in the counselling room, it's safe. You can tell them whatever you need to tell them.
Okay. How do you cope with stress as a student, especially now when you're doing a dissertation, you're almost there, almost graduating?
I'm going to be honest, I do not deal with it because I freak out. Honestly, I'm human and I'm definitely going to freak out. I tend to wonder, excuse me, I tend to wonder what I do, what I'm going to do say what I'm going to do next, and I freak out, and I get really upset, and I cry. Honestly, that's the only way to just go cry. But of recent, I actually decided to go speak to my mom or my sister. That is well. But if I don't have that support, like, right, but maybe that's support, but if I feel I need to speak to someone, then to go to my like counseling place, because I'm talking to counseling, I think that's stressful. My parents have been amazing, supporting me and talking me through it to just relax and try to, put in the work and put in my time, basically. So that's it.
So you mentioned that you did counseling and doing as a student, tell us what that has been like. Because you were such a counseling.
It's first off, it's very confidential, and if you feel like you have little problems that are surrounding your studies, and it's been amazing. And so what I've gotten as a student, an international student, to be honest, and has been perfect. And there's no judgment. There's no feeling like you're alone in university. And coming from Nigeria, because I'm from Nigeria, and coming from Nigeria, and you get this kind of support. And at all, like here, you can actually sit down and speak to anybody. Back home, I'll just go to a lecture and say, oh, I'm struggling. And the other lecturer will say, no, I don't have
What do you mean by struggling?
no, I'm struggling also exactly. Just goes to, they expect you to put in the work, but kind of not understanding that people actually suffer from depression and stress from, saying, okay, I'm academic. Personally, that's how I felt. Academically, I'm good, but I'm like, I want to get it done. I want to be perfect. No one can be perfect in this life, but you just have to know that you're good enough. And if you get the support, you don't have to feel depressed.
Thank you. Sure. So the next question is about the role and power of language in breaking stigma around mental health issues. So using terms like mental well-being, so you're saying mental health, mental illness. And what do you think about that, the role and the power of language in just destigmatizing mental issues?
I think it's crucial. I think the way we describe other people makes them feel like they're part of our community or outside it. And I think we concentrate a lot on illness. That's another way. That's a way to make people separate from us. I'm well, they know. Whereas mental health exists in a continuum, and any given day, our mental well-being can be in a really good place or a really bad place, and that doesn't necessarily mean we're ill. So it's about being real and not around people, not using language as a weapon to separate us from other people. We're all in this together, and we all be able to help. It's about trying to make sure that everybody's part of the community, feels safe in the community. We don't use language that makes people feel alienated or outside.
Yeah, it's just makes it similar. Maybe describe people is crucial in just stigmatizing mental well-being and mental health. And I think as an asset, changing it from mental illness to mental well-being is so crucial in the way that it makes people feel and makes them feel as an asset again as part of the community. And you're not isolating people just because we have got poor mental well-being at that point. And I think that as we go on, the world's kind of not enough, but it's changing, and the way that we are, people that have got drug and alcohol issues, instead of referring to them as junkies or alcoholics, it's very similar. It can be, it's all comes down to well-being and poor well-being is so crucial.
Absolutely. I mean, language is powerful. It's how we communicate with each other for the most part. So being mindful of what we say and how we say things is just absolutely vital for how we can go forward. So, even if you just think of it yourself, when you think of kind of mental health, mental illness, you have this like image in your head of someone being in a hospital, can't take care of themselves. but framing it maybe more as mental well-being, it takes away that negative connotation. We're starting over on a fresh plate. Not to say we completely bad the terms, I don't think that's the total hope of it. But if we try and frame conversations around mental well-being to maybe be in a more positive light, I think that can really help people to then feel comfortable to come forward when something's going wrong, because they haven't got this feeling of, oh God, like I'm a horrible person, everything's going wrong. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, language is powerful in what it can do, and it's just utilizing it in a helpful way.
Actually, I agree with everyone, and language has to portray what the whole scenario is about, and saying it will help and make someone freak out and say, okay, I'm doing a lot of negative stuff that's happening to me, or ill, and it tends to move either to a really worsen worst case scenario situation, like going to suicide and stuff like that. And there's a lady that just passed and I heard, and she said something that life doesn't have to be full of happiness, or that it's also full of sadness as well. And I'm not going to put it the way she said it, but what I picked up from that is that no matter what in life, we're going to be filled up with happiness and sadness. And that's where the word well-being comes in, because you understand in those ways, both happiness and sadness, and you tend to know how to handle that situation in that person's life. And it's okay to be okay. To not be okay, sorry, it's okay not to be okay.
So the challenge of internalizing stigma is that it starts to form a huge part of a person's identity. Is there a possibility of a particular group suffering more from mental health stigma in university, and what can we observe from this trend?
I know, speaking to some of the international students, some of them have expressed to me that the culture that they come from is unacceptable to talk about mental health, and it's a really, really fearful thing, and that they don't feel comfortable about coming to seek support, because they're worried about the implications of that, and that it might have an impact on whether they're accepted as part of the community or not. And that's really concerning, because that feeling lonely when you're feeling lonely is not at all helpful. And feeling that you can reach out because it's not safe to do that. It's a really scary place to be, and I don't want that place to be. So the more we can do to make it okay to not be okay, and to come for help when you're not okay, the better. And I think that's our collective job, to try and persuade people that it's okay not to be okay, and there's safe places to go, and that they'll be looked after. And that people can respect and believe in them, because they are part of our community.
Yeah, I was basically somewhere again. It's obviously international students from those that we've been with local university context, from the culture that we come from. Mental health is not thing that's not gonna happen. You're not a person, like, it's all having this, you just got to get on with it attitude. And when international students come to this country who has got a community base and who has got a lot of welcome support available to them, it's almost like it's something completely out of the ordinary. It's like it's not having like a culture or a use or so within the university context of definitely there's long to go to try and get international students as well as other students to use the services.
I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Okay. What is peer support doing to reach out to international students in terms of international support without especially international and Canadian and backgrounds? Because we do have a history of we don't even speak about general issues, talk more of issues important as mental well-being and things like that. If you talk about it, you think you're crazy, you think, oh, you're indisciplined, you're not sleeping enough, or you're talking about mental health. What's the support doing to reach out to these groups?
I think kind of good examples of this, we've been having a lot of information sessions. So the past couple of Thursdays we've been within the Nation Union and been had a wee pop-up stall with food tea coffee, which has been great, and it's been driving people, talking to us. And we've actually had a lot of kind of open dialogue with some international students about talking about it, because there's some people that are like, well, I don't see the point, like there's nothing wrong with it, and having that kind of like what's obviously been drilled into them. And we are just kind of explaining, it's like, actually, maybe it is okay to kind of talk about these things. There's nothing wrong with it inherently, and having that dialogue with them. And although it's not on a wide kind of scale that we'd like to be, it's definitely a start, and it's something that we're hoping to kind of increase further as we go along and get input from international students. I'm not an international student, so I can't talk in those struggles, but it's like getting that insight would be absolutely valuable to understanding maybe the boundaries culturally that I perhaps don't understand. But definitely, I think we've opened up that dialogue, and we welcome anyone if they want to talk to us or kind of inform us of anything, to just get in touch, and we can talk it through. We can explain from our perspective, but more importantly, get their perspective on it as well.
I think just on the back of what Jan said, 90% just from the information session we've had and dialogue we've had with international students, 90% is a relative increase from last week's with international students. So it's amazing to see that they are getting involved, and we get them more to volunteer, which hopefully will make the next year a lot easier to use their experience and their knowledge to open up the principle to all the international students.
I think that's very impressive, the feedback to get 90% of the international. Okay, and just from your perspective as an international student, what are some of the things that we can do to encourage more international students, especially from our backgrounds, to reach out to counseling, to reach out to peers, and probably volunteer and be part of the work?
First of all, I would like to speak on the whole cultural shock for my first and coming to something years ago when I stayed in Turkey, I had a real huge cultural shock coming into a different country, and which was quite different. And being treated differently was not good for me at that period of time, because I've been high school lads and lasses, it's not just terms, and lads and lasses literally treating me like I wasn't nobody. But coming back to Aberdeen, I felt diverse community, a lot of people, a lot of blacks, or blacks because I'm African, and coming back from the perspective back home, and we don't have the opportunity to speak out, and because people think that once we need, you don't have to say social. But I also realized that most black people, black males, tend to commit suicide for not speaking out, and it's heartbreaking because they don't have who to talk to. And now back to your question, I feel that we already have the student for the mental well-being support as well as the peer support, and I feel we should create monthly events that support that for the Afro-Caribbean community. And I can't speak for the other countries or internationals, but I think it's something that should involve the majority of the blacks, because those are the people that tend to commit suicide. And back home, I remember just a girl, and and this is from a personal experience. I was her senior in high school, and most of the high school and seniors in my level, and kind of bullied her. So it's like bullying is also part of it. Bullying not really happening in the university setting per se, but she literally cooked for her family, and she committed suicide. So it's like these things that actually happen to people. If you're not able to speak up on what is going around you, and to everybody, just share your experiences. So I feel, sorry I'm going off with my stories, but I just feel we need to get to have like a seminar to speak or give people the opportunity to actually speak. So, yeah, I would like to volunteer to speak and we have support and listening. It doesn't have to necessarily be in the university, but also outside. Not stress on work. I'm sure a person would like to recruit you for that, so absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take you.
Yeah. And like, we're really grateful that we have an institution, a university that prioritizes mental health. And I know that there is so much work that goes on to just sort of create a safer and more inclusive environment here at RGU. And can I just ask, Annette, can you share with us some of the things that the university is doing to ensure that student mental health is protected and that the university is safe for students, especially at this
Well, we've post-pandemic and during the pandemic, we expanded our counselling team quite dramatically. So we now have 6 counsellors and our wellbeing advisor. So we're able to see students a lot more quickly than we did in the past. But also we're involved in a number of projects. We're involved in a male experience project because we know that our male students are less likely to seek support. So we're working on that and what we can do about it, and specifically a pilot within sort of more male-dominated schools within the university, which is following on from a project that one of our academic colleagues, Joanne Tate, in School of Engineering, did around engineers and how they experience depression and mental ill health. So we're now working on a project to develop some materials to support our male students in finding how to signpost them to appropriate support in terms of problem solving and how they might engage with more support and building a web resource that helps people find where they need to be and where they can get some answers to their issues. We've run a number of workshops by our counsellors looking at the key things that students come to us with needing help with around sleep, around breathing techniques and grounding techniques, mindfulness sessions as well, to try to help people skill themselves up and looking after themselves. And we're trying to sort of bring the counselling outside our necessarily safe and private space so that people from likes of peer support and our other colleagues can actually meet the counsellor, so it's quite so scary. I mean, obviously we have to be in a confidential space so you can be safe to talk about whatever you need to talk about when you're seeing us, but that has a barrier in itself, so we're trying to get out behind that frosted glass and let you see what we look like and that we're not scary and that you can feel safe talking to us and feel secure that what we say to us is capable of doing.
Thank you very much for sharing that. And just to follow on from there, what can we or how can we continue to ensure and support staff and students in our community to break the stigma around mental health and well-being issues, especially in the more inclusive?
A lot of it's about dialogue, it's about having conversations like this, it's about trying to make it feel less scary, it's about being human. And acknowledging that we're not always all in happy place. But it's okay not to be okay. That's the bottom line. Being clear that it's okay not to be okay. And if you're not okay, there are things we can do to help. And if we want to do those things.
Yeah, this is some of the peer support's done a lot of work with is having these pop-up stalls, having these, time to talk things are hugely successful there. And I guess it's just doing as much work as possible within the scope of what you can do to promote these kind of days, to promote, time to talk for us is such a successful day. And something as simple as, just talking and we have an anonymous buddy box where people put in, their concerns of that day just to get it out of their head into the box and what success it was. And the more people have events like this, not necessarily on significant days like that, just have them on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon. It's giving the students an opportunity to come in and just talk about it and sort of environment that they may not have expected to be walked into. And so they can break away from that one, going to walk into the room and talk. So I'm going to go and continue and then talk about it to someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about protecting students. It's about creating safe spaces to have these dialogues and actively do it. So, it's, as we say, we've had, your sport specifically, we've had our pop-up stalls, we've at least run an event once a month can. Even during COVID, we were doing this online. And it's all about having that space to do it, because we can sit here and say, go reach out to someone, talk to someone, but we as kind of almost like mental health advocates, if we do not actively create those spaces, how can we expect people to use them? So I think that's something that we're all trying to be a little bit better at, especially coming out of COVID. We're not used to being on campus anymore. Like, it's hard for everyone being back, so we're finding our feet, but I think definitely we're getting there, and making progress.
So I think everyone has said everything, to be honest, and it's just to have the opportunity, which RG already provides, and to sit down with people, over coffee or something, to just have that confidence that you're safe space to speak out, say your mind. If we have fun activities that can also bring out all your emotions, just to feel happy after everything. So yeah, that's what's
And that's why for us at RG Union as well, we encourage, we heavily support our societies, our groups, Red Cross and sports clubs, because we recognize how important it is for students to meet one another and form quality relationships within these channels. And that's something that we'll definitely continue to do as long as we're here. So finally, and that was really inspirational. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. So especially for those watching us online, how can students get in touch with you? So if someone wants to speak to you or wants to just have a conversation about it, how can students get in touch?
In terms of the counselling and wellbeing service, a couple of different methods. You can book an appointment through Ask RTU, do that independently. You can phone our administrator on 1224 262 120, or you can turn to the help desk and they will sort out an appointment for you. So all of those methods. Important to know that you can use the counselling service either in person, or you can have a telephone appointment, or you can have a video call through Zoom or through Teams, whatever way works for you. Some students find that they want their first appointment, by telephone and not with any video, and change that as they go along. We work with students and what they want. And we also work 3 evenings a week, so you can have an appointment at a time that suits you.
Peer support, you can get in contact with us on any of the social medias, which is at RGU, and you can also get a hold of us on our confidential email, which is peersupport@rguunion.co.uk. And I'll hand over to Diana, who can talk a little bit about what kind of things we can offer.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things we kind of offer is if you just feel like you need someone to listen to, you can contact us on the email that I said. Just to repeat, it's peersupport@rgunion.co.uk. You can also find us on the RG Union website, and if you look for peer support, you'll be able to find a contact form there. Which just fills out some availability, and then we'll get back to you as soon as possible to just how we sit down together and just talk about things. And much like the counselling service, we work with what the student wants, whether it's online, in person. If it's in person, we don't have to sit down in a room across from each other. We can go for a walk around campus, we can go for a coffee, just whatever the comfort level is there, just talk about things. As well as kind of like doing that, we, as I said before, we host a lot of kind of events, pop-up stalls. So if you keep an eye out on our social media channels, again, that's at RGU Peer Support on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We post stuff where we are going to be set up in places. So you can come along and talk to us there, and just have a conversation and ask about us, or just be like, hey, can I just chat to someone for a little bit? We're more than receptive to do that. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Thank you. And absolutely, you can also speak to someone at the union, so your union is here to support you. And so if you need advice and support on anything from academics all the way to personal issues, it's absolutely confidential. And you can send us an email at advice@rgunion.co.uk. or if you want to speak to someone in person, you can speak to any of the student presidents and just come to the union space in Aberdeen Business School and someone to speak to you. Definitely recommend, definitely recommend welcome and counseling, peer support and Lifeline here for you. So please do not hesitate to reach out. And as Annette will say, do not wait until it's a crisis before you reach out to someone. We're here for you and we'll always be here for you. So yeah, that's it on our couch conversation today. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you. I actually enjoyed myself. I'm really nervous.